October 8th, 2020. So the Heartbeat Away hopefuls gave it a go last night, and the results were rather less than informative. Neither the current Veep, who unfortunately is not Selena Meyer, nor my junior senator, who unfortunately is not Gil John Biggs, could be bothered to provide a straight answer to some pretty straightforward questions. Just like old times. As if to prove he really is living in a different era, Mike Pence kept trying to answer the previous question. I guess because it took him that long to come up with a response, fitting one of his overly rehearsed lines. As for Kamala Harris, she's sitting on a big lead and clearly preferred running out the clock to telling us how a Biden administration would handle the pandemic or deal with the Supreme Court. To pack it or pack it in, Senator? Just answer the damn question. Of course, neither of these profiles in Discourage would cop to having the talk with the boss about his impending demise, even though both are clearly hoping or praying, depending on the candidate, for the guy at the top of the ticket to drop dead, and quick. To call Hence and Paris empty vessels would be an insult to vessels. All we learned from Wednesday's debate is that Kamala Harris can be, "I'm talking here, okay?" very condescending, while Mike Pence is really, really white. Oh, to be a fly on the wall of their debate prep. Then, like a miracle, the fly on the wall made an appearance, and the compound-eyed buzzer absolutely stole the show. I'm not sure if the representative from Musca Domestica dedicated so much of its short life to alighting on the vice president's head because Pence is so full of shit, or because he's the devil his own self. But either way, the insect got its point across, which is more than can be said for either of the humans it shared the stage with. Well played, Fly. Not as well played as the fly off the bat of Fernando Tatis Jr. later that evening, but still. Of course, compared to last week's episode of Real House Husbands of D.C., Wednesday's show, and make no mistake, it's all a show, was positively Downton Abbey in its decorum. It was as if we switched channels and went from a two-ring circus to a flea circus, only with fewer tricks up their well-pressed sleeves. To stretch the metaphor a bit more, the presidential shout fest was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yesterday's episode was One Fly Over the Veep's Head. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies apparently like someone who's bananas. One question remains. If fleas carry the plague, do flies carry the COVID? Alas, we may never know, because while the debate commission has sent Biden and Trump to their respective rooms for a virtual round 2 next week, President I beat coronavirus and so can you has promised to hold his breath until he turns blue rather than risk having his mic cut off while he's throwing another temper tantrum. To which his challenger said, "If that happens, I don't know what I'll do." All of which pretty much sums up the state of American politics in the 21st century.